Because if you never have an identity, you'll never be anyone. And if you never are anyone, you're susceptible to the new shiny objects that society throws at you. It's time to take our position. Better men, choosing to get to know who the hell you are. This is the Better Man channel, where our mission is to equip men with the mindset that will enable them to utilize the rock-solid characteristics of masculinity. My name is Jaron, a guy who is just now in the last couple of years beginning to explore what it actually means to hold the capacity to be a true man. Not what society would teach you, not the bullshit norms and conditions of be a good person, not be a good man. They're almost taking the toxic masculinity out of what it means to be a man, and that is bullshit, and you know this. That's why you're watching this video right now. And so what do we have to do as men? What are we going to do to regain our sovereignty, our autonomy? What are we going to do to be the example that society needs? We have to admit, man, society is looking at men in this current age as, what are they going to do? Are they going to fold? Are they going to have some backbone? Are they going to really be the toxicity that we claim they're going to be? Or are we going to see men strive or rise up and strive to be the examples that this culture was built upon? And by God, I believe we as men are going to see a rise in not only the intellectual characteristics of manhood, but the strong, assertive, dominant, take their role as leaders. We're going to see men taking their position in both those fields, intellectual and strong-filled, virile men. But in order for us to do this, we see in the manosphere a lot of men that, we see a lot of ignorance. I love the manosphere. I love men working on themselves and realizing that you got to explore that stranger within and remove all the indoctrination and all the norms and conditions that society has slammed us with and taught us you have to be this and you have to fit yourself as a triangle into this square. We got to remove all that junk and actually begin to explore the stranger within. We don't know who the hell we are. We've been conditioned, taught, misled, and we begin to mold the self-image of ourselves that we're actually our thoughts, we're actually our perceptions, we're actually what society has taught us we are. And we neglect to get to know that stranger within that's always been calling us to be more. It's always been calling us and inviting us to expand and conquer. We've got to begin to get to know that person, get to know ourselves. And in doing so, we'll actually we'll gain a foothold on this cool, composed man that we were created to be. We're not surrendering to the chaos of the world. We actually step forward in courage and say, I'm a man. This is what I was created to do. I'm going to take my position, fulfill my role, and become the person not only that I need to be, that society needs to be. And we shirk those responsibilities. We've been shirking those responsibilities, and I'll be the first to admit it. I haven't been much of a man, but I'm beginning to explore and discover what it truly means to be a man, to take on the responsibility not only for individual, but the duty, the obligation to begin to promote society. I have a duty as a man created to be assertive, dominant, strong, leader, to carry sometimes the weight of my community. And I don't mean put up with their bullshit, but stand firm with backbone and say, this is what we need to do. This is the direction we need to go. And not only that, but I back up my words with actions. We need men exploring who they are, mixing that with actions, saying what they mean, meaning what they say, and being the fucking men that we were created to be. Strong, dominant, assertive. We don't take shit from anyone that's not adhering to the moral code of our honor. In order to meet the privilege of society, you've got to meet the standards. We see a lot of entitled assholes not wanting to put in the work. And it's just confusing. We see a generation of confused, entitled people that are unidentifiable. They don't know who they are. A boy identifies as a girl identifies as a boy. Some people identify as not shit. I don't even get that. But it's time we step up and begin to identify with something. Because if you never have an identity, you'll never be anyone. And if you never are anyone, you're susceptible to the new shiny objects that society throws at you. It's time to take our position. take back our sovereignty, be individuals that begin to shape the collective. That's what you were created to do. There's an amazing calling. I'm not trying to be some bullshit motivational revolutionary speaker. I'm trying to speak from the truth that you're created to do some fucking amazing things. And if you're not doing them, it's no one else's fault but yours, because you haven't taken the time to explore the stranger within. And again, first to admit it, I've not taken the time to get to know who I am, what I'm capable of, and begin to utilize that not only for my good, for the better of society, for the better of my friends, for the better of family, for the better of community. Because at the end of the day, we don't walk away and shirk our responsibilities and the obligations of manhood. That's not what it means to be a man. We want to bitch and whine around about the detriments of society and how the roles of men have been diminished. Well, let's do something about it. Let's first of all begin to know what we're capable of. Then let's begin to exemplify the characteristics of what it means to be man, to be leader, to be assertive, to be an example, to be the innovator and ingenuity, to be the innovator of ingenuity that begins to facilitate a pathway towards excellence. That's what it's called to be a man. That's a role that I want to fill. That's a higher calling. And I haven't lived up to that, and I'll never fully reach it, but by God, I want to begin to get on the right path to head in that direction and leave a legacy for my child, leave a legacy for the men coming up, leave a legacy for the community as a whole to build upon. We're men created to be better. Let's first begin to at least acknowledge I don't have it fully. I don't understand it all. I'm not fully aware of what I need to be, but by God, I know that I'm not where I want to be. So I'm going to take a step so that I can eventually get where I need to be. I love you guys. You'll hear me next video.